Everyone. Welcome back to Shubhkaamna Academy. Today in History Lecture 2, we are going to travel back in time more than 4,000 years ago to discuss something amazing, that is the earliest cities of the Indian subcontinent. Have you heard of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro? These were among the first cities ever built, and their remains were discovered under the earth, which are telling us about how advanced people were in ancient times. Let's begin this exciting journey into the past. This is our topic for today in the earliest cities, the story of Harappa. We will learn about the Indus Valley civilization, which is also called the Harappan civilization, and how people lived, worked, built houses, and even planned cities over 4,500 years ago. The story of Harappa. Very often, old buildings have a story to tell. Nearly 150 years ago, when railway lines were being laid down for the first time in the Punjab, engineers stumbled upon the site of Harappa in present-day Pakistan. Now, what were the earliest cities? The Indus Valley civilization was one of the world's oldest urban civilizations, and it's begun around 2500 BC and had cities like Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Lothal, Dholavira, Kalibangan. These cities were found in the areas that are now in Pakistan and Western India. What makes them special? These cities were well planned, had drainage system, big buildings, and even granaries for the storing food. Now, to them, it seemed like a mound that was a rich source of ready-made, high-quality bricks. So they carried the thousands of bricks from the walls of the old buildings of the city to build railway lines. Many buildings were completed, destroyed, and about 80 years ago, archaeologists found the site and realized that this was one of the oldest cities in the subcontinent. And this is the story of Harappa. You go through once and explain in detail. Now, what was the special about these cities? So usually the part to the west was smaller but higher. Archaeologists describe this as a citadel. And the part to the east was larger but which is the lower. The in citadel build which is built on the raised area, and it had the important buildings like granaries, storage areas, and public baths. While in the lower town, where most people lived in the neat houses along the straight roads. These cities had wells in the houses, drainage systems to carry dirty water, bricks of the same size used for construction. And this shows us that Harappas were highly skilled builders. In some cities, special buildings were constructed on the citadel. For example, in Mohenjo-daro, a very special tank, which archaeologists call the Great Bath, was built in this area, which is the famous, which is a large tank made up of bricks with steps on the both sides. It was filled with water and may have been used for ritual bathing or special ceremonies. And other buildings include granaries, which is the large buildings which is used to store grains, houses which are made up of bricks, often with two floors, courtyards, and bathrooms. This shows that people had a good knowledge of architecture and public health in the earlier years. So this is all about that only, which I have explained. Now, life in the Harappan cities. Before going to houses, drains, and streets, we will look about the life in the Harappan cities. People in the Indus Valley civilization had a well-organized life. They wore clothes which are made of from cotton, made beautiful pottery, toys, and jewelry, used seals with pictures and writing, and this might have been used for trade or identity. Now, the Harappan script and the language. The Harappan people had their own writing system and they used symbols and signs on seals and pottery. But here is something interesting. Till now, no one has been able to fully read the Harappan script. This means that many things about their thoughts and language are still mystery. Then houses, drains, and streets. Generally, houses were either one or two stories high with rooms which is built around a courtyard. And most houses had a separate bathing area and some had wells to supply water. And many of the cities had covered drains, and notice how carefully these were laid out in the straight line. You could not see, but each drain had a gentle slope so that water could flow through it. So you can imagine how specifically the drainage system has been made at that earlier time. Very often, drains in houses were connected to those on the streets, and smaller drains lead into the bigger ones. All three houses, drains, and streets were probably planned and built at the same time. Now you can imagine what are their planning system at that time, what level of they are thinking. Now, what was special about this city is that bricks are arranged to build the walls. So, see how in image they have. I have shown put a image where the bricks have been arranged to build the walls. So, Indus Valley civilization teaches us ancient people were smart and organized. They knew how to build cities and store food. They traded and made beautiful crafts, and they were connected to other parts of the world. Even though we still don't know everything, these ancient cities tell us a lot about the first urban life in India. Now, thank you for watching this video on the earliest cities of India. We learn about Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, the Great Bath, city planning crafts, and more. History is not just about kings and wars, it's also about amazing things people created even thousands of years ago. If you enjoyed this class, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Shubhkaamna Academy. See you in the next class where we will continue exploring India's rich and exciting past.